Hello students, today we are going to see our new lesson of geography, that is natural resources, land, soil and water. So in the last lesson we have learned about what the natural resources are there, why these natural resources are very important in our life, all activities we have learned. We have learned about the natural resources, man-made resources, all these things we have learned. Okay, and in this lesson we are going to see particularly about the land, soil and water. These are the natural resources and how these resources are playing very important role in our life, that we are going to learn. So in the introductory part, that uh, all these things I have explained, that the land, soil and water, which are very important. Now in these we are going to see about the land, that we know that the 30% of the total surface of the earth, it is covered by the land, and among these the 95% of the our needs we satisfied from these 30% of land, that is the needs like food, clothing, shelter, etc. All these needs are satisfied from the earth only. Due to the bad climatic conditions, unfriendly relief features, the all land is not suitable for human habitation. That means what? The climatic conditions are not equal everywhere. You will find that some areas are very hot, some areas are very cold, okay, and some areas are with a moderate type of a climatic conditions. And unfriendly relief features means what? That the some areas are deserts, mountains, then the forest covered areas. Okay, so these are the areas which are not very much suitable for the human habitation. Because of all these things, some areas remain very thinly populated, or the habitation it is not there. Okay, so now about the 90% of the world's population lives only 30% of its land area. Means whatever the land which is available on the earth, of these only the 30% of the land is used by the human beings to all such type of uses. Then now what the land use it is there, we are going to learn about that land use, that we are using means what? The cultivation of crops, grazing animals, mining, constructions of the roads, houses, buildings and setting up of a industries. All such type of utilization of a land is considered or called as a land use. So it is completely depend upon the different physical, economic and human factors. So physical factors means what? The landforms means that land is already I have explained you that land is not even everywhere. Then the economic condition of that area, whatever economic condition is also affect on the use of a land, and also the human factors. Human factors means what? How much the technological development it is done by the human beings, how much the knowledge that human beings are having with them, the skills, all these factors are also affect on the use of a land. Then the soil of that area, the climatic conditions of that area, all these things also affect on the use of a land. Then the comparative land use in the world. Now the one table it is given, then you can go through that table for better understanding. Now what the comparative land use in the world, that is uh, we know that the Western countries are more developed than the Asian and the African continent. That is means what? The people are having the more technological development than the people of the Asian and the African countries. So they are using the land, whatever the land which is available with them, they are using this land with a more effect. In some countries of the Asia and Africa, increasing urbanization, nowadays it is happening, high density of population, then cutting of the mountains for mining, clearing of the forest, excessive irrigation, use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides are decreasing the productivity of land. These are the things, means what we are using all these things for increasing the productivity, but it is affecting on the soil of that area and the productivity of that land is decreasing day by day. On the basis of that landforms, we can divide the land into the three categories, that is mountains, plateaus and plains. Now about the mountains, what we can say that we know that the high altitude regions are called as a mountain. Okay, that altitude means what? The height. So the continents of the world, most of the continents of the world are with mountain ranges, big mountain ranges. These mountains are covered with so many useful forests. In these forests you will find that the variety of wildlife it is there, spices, medicinal herbs, all these things we are getting. These are the sources, means these mountains are also the sources for the perennial rivers. Perennial rivers means what? That rivers which used to flow throughout the year, means they are having water. Then these rivers provide us with the fresh water and also help in the formation of soil. Means we are getting the fresh water from this river, perennial river. Okay. Then the next is plateaus. Raised tablelands means these lands are also with a height, but the top of that land is a flat. It's just like a table, not like that mountains with a conical shape or a round peak. So the tablelands, raised tablelands are called as a plateau. 45% of the total surface of the earth, means whatever the land which is available, among these the 45% of the land is covered by the plateaus or made up of plateaus. Mining and related industries are the most common because they are the storehouses of minerals, means most of the minerals we will get from these plateaus only. Agriculture is possible in the low plateaus. Many of the high plateaus are either deserts or suitable for cattle grazing only. Okay, means what? That plateaus are not so suitable for the agricultural work, and most of these you will find that are the deserts or they are only suitable for the cattle grazing. So this is what the plateaus. Now we are turned towards the plains, the low altitude fertile regions with very good for human habitation. That is the characteristic. The low altitude fertile regions, the plains are fertile one, and in the plain areas you will find we prefer to settle. So they are very big and flat, rich with the alluvial soil which is brought by the rivers, and most of the agricultural activities are carried out in the plains. Easily available means of communication means you will find that the area with the big flat lands, so it is very much easy for setup of a means of communication, the transportation, then the cheap labor and the sufficient raw material. All these are the characteristics of the plains. Now we are going to see the next point, that is the conservation of land. resource. That is, the population is continuously increasing. Whatever the land which is available, that is the 30% of the land it is available, but the population is increasing day by day. That means what, the land is limited, but the population is increasing, and due to that increasing with the population, the demand for houses, food, industries, all these are increasing. They are disturbing the arable land. Arable land means what? That land which is suitable for the cultivation, and the forest cover is done. We should conserve our land for the future generation. This can be done by conserving soil and forest, adopting the scientific technology, then regulated and judicious use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. This is very important. Why? Because the chemical fertilizers and pesticides should be used judiciously, because it is affecting directly on the quality of a soil. Then checking desertification, afforestation and the land reclamation, checking overgrazing, providing better irrigation facilities. Okay, afforestation means what? Afforestation means where we are planting the trees and we are covering the land with the vegetation. That is the afforestation. Then the next point is landslide. The mass movement which displaces the materials like rocks or the debris on the earth in the hilly region is known as landslide. The mass movement in a large quantity. It occurs with the natural calamities like earthquakes, flood, volcanic eruptions. All these are responsible for the landslide. A heavy rainfall can also cause for the heavy landslide. Then the landslide can be mitigated. Mitigate means what? We can reduce that landslide with the help of some advanced scientific technology. Means if you are using that technology, we can reduce that, mitigate it. That the first is construction of retention walls. Means wherever the landslide prone areas are there, the construction of the walls can be possibly stop the mass movement of these rocks and debris. Then afforestation means what? If we planted the trees, that trees can, the roots of the trees can hold the soil and the rocks, and so it cannot move easily, and the drainage control works. That can also be helpful. Means if we are properly drain the water, then that landslides can automatically reduce. So this is how the mitigation mechanism we can use to reduce the landslide. Thank you.